I'm going to show you how I refresh my hair when I don't sleep with rollers. I just not going to reveal it to you until later in the video, so I just put a scarf on. I'm going to show you how I apply my makeup. I'm using the Clinique Even Better Clinical Serum Foundation in WN46. Yes. And it just melts into my skin. You see, it's the same color. What I like about this foundation, it has SPF 25, and I do use I do use retinol in my skincare, so that's definitely a plus for me. I've been watching the Gilmore Girls, and it's such a good show. It reminds me of how things used to be, how people used to act. It's completely different than how people act nowadays. I just remember people used to be happier, more elegant, and respectful to one another. And in these times, that has definitely changed for the worse. I'm not saying everybody acts this way. I would just say the majority does. People used to speak slower, be more eloquent and elegant, and just, it was more humble. Everybody was more humble. Nowadays, it's not like that. We should normalize being kind to one another regardless of our beliefs. I remember that people had more manners, and I would say more decency. Is that the right word? Let me see. Consideration for one another. That's the word. There was more consideration for other people's boundaries, where now people just like to test other people's boundaries and push people to an uncomfortable situation on purpose. Back then, it was definitely inappropriate. Regardless, I mean, everybody has always had their own belief system. Back then, in the early 2000s and late 90s, everybody still had their own beliefs, but everybody respected one another. You had your own beliefs, but that didn't mean that you were canceled because of your own belief system. Overall, people were just happier, and life was so much slower. People just lived slower. We didn't have the technology that we have now, where you're able to contact people so rapidly and make plans. You would just hang out with your friends in person, and you would have a great time and say, hey, let's meet up at this place at this time. Make sure to bring a friend, or just be ready to have fun. And now it's super different. We seem to have lost that intimate connection overall with one another. You could still find it, but it's very rare. And that's why it's so important when you find your people and your tribe to keep them close, because it's very rare to find people you connect. That's so important, to just be kind to one another, and you don't know what people are going through. Just be kind and spread positive, just spread positivity into the world. It's so important. We just started talking about Gilmore Girls, and we got really deep into conversation. I love bronzer, don't you? Especially for spring and summer, but I wear bronzer all year long. Being kind is so important. Not only to be kind to others, but to be kind to yourself. That's the most important, is being kind to yourself and being patient with yourself. Remaining focused on your journey and not comparing your journey to other people is also important. But that doesn't mean not celebrating other people's achievements. It just means don't compare yourself to them. Applaud them, but also applaud yourself for what you've achieved in your life. And no means a competition with others, only a competition with yourself. You are your only competition. Remember that. I'm excited to use this palette. This is the MINXETTE palette by Viseart, and this is the warmest palette that they have in their collection. Oh, it's a dream, baby. Start with this here. Whoa, that's an impact of color that we wanted to see today. Yes, please. Yes, please. Oh, please add warmth. Oh, yes. Loving it. I'm gonna go with, oh, it's so hard to make a decision. I'll mix these two together. See. Perfect. Anyone else a Gilmore Girls fan? It's such a good show. By the way, I'm using Inglot eyeliner with a pen. So fresh. This is the difference that eyebrows can make. That's crazy, right? Super light brows to dark to match the hair. Can you guess my natural hair color? Another show that I recommend is, oh, by the way, I'm using Magic Extension by MAC. I recommend you watch Resident Alien. It's so good. It's hilarious. And I completely recommend it. If you like to have a good laugh and you have a dark sense of humor, you're gonna love this show. I also recommend you read some books. Don't spend all your time watching television. Contact people that you love and read books. It's very important. I just got these lashes and I'm gonna try them. They look like the lash extensions that people usually get that last about a month, but these are just false eyelashes. I'm gonna try them out and see how it goes. These lashes remind me of when I went to school to become an esthetician, because I'm a licensed esthetician as well as a licensed cosmetologist, and I'm a certified makeup artist. But I was an esthetician before I became a hairstylist, and these lashes remind me of a girl who had gotten lash extensions. Lash extensions had just become a trend, and this was 2010. And think of this, but for 4 lashes on each side, 4 strips of these lashes, 4 strips. They were very full and looked like she was a living doll, and she wanted me to apply makeup on her for the weekend. It was a Friday, and I did so. And at that time, mineral makeup was a huge thing, and it was loose powder, not pressed powder. So as you know, when you're using loose powder, you're supposed to tap off the brush and apply, right? Which I did, and she moved. So I was applying eyeshadow and she moved, and she was talking to somebody, and the powder fell on top of her lashes. So the top of her lashes looked pink, and then this was still black. Also looks like the perm lash trend that's happening right now. We ended up laughing about it because she knew that she moved, like she jerked her head to the side because she was telling a story. So we laughed about it, and I fixed it, but I will never forget that girl's lashes. They were massive. She looked like a Bratz doll. She was so stunning. My favorite lipstick collection from MAC. Oh, I dropped one. Orange Oddity. Oh, yeah. Oh, fiery. Makeup is complete now. We have to get into this hair. This is what happens when you don't put rollers in your hair and you sleep on your hair just as it is, and you have naturally curly hair. This is what happens. Now I have to retouch it. I will show you how. Spray with the Neuro Style Protect by Paul Mitchell. Spray it all over the hair because we are going to retouch this hair with some heat. Brush it through. Get your blow dryer. I have the Dyson. Round brush. Turn it on high heat, high speed, and blow dry your base, your roots. You see how it's taking out the curl? That's what we want. Just blow dry the roots, the base. not the whole hair strand, just the base. Okay, already see a difference between both sides. This is a smooth base, and this still has a wave to it, or a curl to it, because I have extra curly hair. I know you probably don't believe me, but I'm a mixed girl, and I have mixed girl hair. Blow dry the base. I like to go forward to make sure everything is completely smooth.